So if you're just joining us, a tornado warning issued for northern Washington County. We're zoomed into the area of focus right now, which is just to the east of Loper. Red, green, very close together. That's the radar telling you the winds are shearing across, that there is rotation above the ground, but it's not confirming that it's at the ground. Bigby, you've got about 10 minutes before that rotation gets to you. It is a severe thunderstorm. It could be producing a tornado. It's moving eastward at 40 miles an hour, and in front of it, we've got Frankville, Bigby, eventually the Tom Bigby River, and then Highway 69 in Clark County. This is the only severe thunderstorm right now within the NBC 15 area. Also, that severe thunderstorm warning pretty much is the same right now as the tornado warning. So for the next 20 minutes or so, you've got to be on guard and make sure you're in the best place you can be. If you are west of Highway 17, you're in an okay spot. If you're in Millry, if you're in Loper, that rotation has already passed you. It's just generally moving to that wooded area crossing Carpenter Road on a path that's going to take it just south of St. Stephen's Road for the next 10 to 15 minutes. We can also check for hail and also lightning to give you a sense that it's not a particularly intense thunderstorm, but it is a thunderstorm nonetheless that the National Weather Service has deemed capable of producing a tornado. The yellow outline, that's your severe thunderstorm warning. The red outline, that is your tornado warning. And this cone area, this path, shows you where it is heading within the next 20 minutes or so. The pink shows you that there could be some hail with it. And not all severe thunderstorms produce hail, but when it does produce hail, it tells you that it's a little more powerful than most of the storms that you would typically see. Now notice St. Stephen's, you're on the southern edge of that, same thing in Jordan, so you're not in a particularly dangerous spot. And even as I speak, there are very few communities directly in front of this in the next 5 minutes. It's going to be about 8, 9, 10 minutes from now as it nears Carpenter and Frankville. Lightning is not out of the ordinary for the thunderstorms we get in this part of the Gulf Coast. There you see the motion in the last hour steadily moving toward the east-northeast, and the pink colors, the purple colors over Frankville, that tells you where you're getting those intense downpours, which are not always where you get the rotation. So a lot of times you get very nervous when the rain picks up, but it's the tail end of this system between Cullenton and Carpenter. Right now, that is where your rotation is, and those lines show which way it's going. So eventually toward Bailey's Landing, crossing Highway 69. Communities like Cullenton, you've got several minutes now. You're down to about 3 minutes before that main area of rotation gets to you. Bashai, you've got about 7 minutes, followed by Bigby and Silver Cross, about 15 minutes, and then Frankville. When you look at some of the numbers down here, I know that doesn't mean a lot to you, but it gives us a sense as meteorologists what's going on. A pretty typical rotation of a strong thunderstorm, 90 miles an hour, which doesn't translate down to the ground. It tells you what's going on up above the ground. It tells you that that is a strong storm. Until 7:30, if you're in front of this, you need to be in your safe place, getting to your safe place. Behind it, Millry, Dunbar, Loper, you're okay. Basically, most of Washington County west of Highway 17 is in an all right spot, but it's the spots that are east of it that are not so good right now. Heavy rain in Frankville, Silver Cross, but notice the rotation is a little bit farther west. It'll be moving right along St. Stephen's Avenue in northern Washington County, crossing close to the community of Bigby and Frankville. So if you are there, if you have family there, if you have friends there, give them a call. Let them know that this is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. Need to get to the middle part of your home, smallest room, closets, bathroom, hallway. If you are ahead of it and you have multiple rooms in your house, close the doors in each room just in case the wind gets in and you don't want it to go all the way through your house. There's the latest again. Radar showing it's maintaining its strength as a severe thunderstorm. You're seeing a little more red there, and that's just a total of how much circulation the radar is estimating from that severe storm. There's no number on it, but it does show where it was and where it is going right now. So in the last half hour, it was over Copeland. You started to see more red as it crossed Highway 17, and now you're seeing same thing, that little red circle south of Cullenton. That's where the circulation would likely be from this severe thunderstorm. And once this gets by, notice there are strong thunderstorms also to the west of it. So this is just going to be a couple of rounds of very heavy rain for northern Washington County, where you will easily pick up 2, if not 3 inches of rain. And you know the Tombigbee River has a flood warning right now. So this rain, that's going to feed into the watershed, come right down the Tombigbee, and it's just the beginning of what's going to be a very wet pattern, especially north of Highway 84. But that is your tornado warning. Until 7:30, northern Washington County. The radar hasn't shown an intensification, but it is showing it is maintaining itself as it's moving toward the east. Frankville, you're ahead of it by only a few minutes. It's moving right along St. Stephen's Avenue in northern Washington County, east of Loper, just to the west of Frankville. So between Bigby and Frankville, those two communities, you definitely want to get to your safe area. If you are in Silver Cross, same story. The radar's looking up in the ground. We can't see what's going down to the ground. Here are some times for you. About 8 minutes to Silver Cross and Frankville. About 24 minutes to Tadlersville. So you have some time right there. And as you know about Washington County and many of our inland counties and communities, a lot of these communities are along roads, and once you get off the road, it's usually a wooded area until you get to the next major road. So that's why you're seeing big gaps in these times for people who are in front of this, for people who are threatened by it. If it has passed your home, if you are in Cohenton, Loper, Highway 17, if it has already passed you, you're safe to get out. You're safe to look, survey your property. If you heard the wind blow, doesn't mean it was a tornado, it means you heard the wind blow. It could be a straight line wind or a rotating wind, they both sound the same. So here's the latest picture of that severe thunderstorm warning, which is in yellow, the tornado warning, which is in red. The tornado warning goes until 7:30 this evening. It may be extended or it could be canceled. The greatest threat area is now where you see the bright green. This is part of the radar that detects overall rotation at this point, not in the past. So these are the locations where you will potentially can see some wind damage, whether it's a spinning wind or a straight line wind. Frankville, Bigby, almost to Carpenter. So Frankville and Bigby right now are the main two areas where you need to get to your safe place. Very heavy rain to the north of this. You might be getting a little small hail, and even if you're not exactly where that rotation is, you're still going to get some strong winds. There's the hail estimate from radar, and the brighter the color, or the more pink the color is, I should say, the more likely that there is hail. It doesn't mean it's big hail, it just means the more likely there's hail. And the more likely there's hail, the stronger this thunderstorm is to create the hail way up high. So as of 7:21, radar shows the same pattern we've been looking at for the last 10 to 15 minutes. A possible tornado moving through central Washington County to the east at 40 miles an hour. Right now it's crossing, the rotation is crossing Carpenter Road south of Cohenton. It's already well to the east of Loper. It's well to the east of Milry. You're not threatened by this, but people in Bigby and Frankville are, and even people in Silver Cross. You all are in front of the rotation of this severe thunderstorm. If it has passed and you get outside and you see damage to your property, call the Washington County Emergency Management Agency so they can make a report. And if you're immediately in danger, call 911. If you're in Washington County, call for help immediately. Otherwise, Bigby, shelter now. Silver Cross, same story. If you are along St. Stephen's Avenue heading toward Frankville, that's where you need to be in your safe spot. Vashai, very heavy rain. You're going to get lightning, which is also a threat. And here are some projections on where that strongest rotation is and heading toward. In Frankville and Silver Cross, you have less than 6 minutes. Now, the radar, it's digital, but the atmosphere is not. So these numbers are just rough estimates. Followed by Frankville and Silver Cross, there should be a break where very few communities are impacted. But then you're talking about Tadlersville, and then Coffeyville in Clark County, and Silitpa. All of those in about 20 to 25 minutes. The probability that there's hail is 50-50, but we do know that is a tornado warning until 6:30 this evening. And while we're doing this, Kelly, are you seeing any new information from the National Weather Service? We're in constant contact with them, getting information, sharing information. But very heavy rain, Milry, Cohenton, Vashai, Silver Cross, and then the rotation likely between Frankville and Bigby, soon to cross Highway 69, cross the Tombigbee River, getting into Clark County. Have your preliminary plan, if you are in Clark County, Even though the actual threat hasn't gotten to you yet, the rain is picking up, the lightning is picking up, so you've got to have your plan and be ready. And that heavy rain goes all the way back toward Copeland, Fitty, and Mahaffey.
We are getting information that there are some trees down along Highway 63 in Greene County, Mississippi, between Union Road and Highway 63. So a couple of houses are looking at some damage to trees in Greene County in the Piave community, and that is from a local storm report from the National Weather Service. Also, some of the meteorologists from the National Weather Service in Mobile stating that the tornado warning cell over Washington County appears to be cyclic. A new meso appears to be forming near the center of that tornado warning, and if that rotation continues, they will likely issue just a downstream tornado warning. So that's the latest from the National Weather Service, but still that tornado warning in place until 7:30 for Clark and Washington County.
All right, so what we can do, because we're going to be ending our newscast here on WJTC shortly, just take a wider view, first of all, go back, show you our entire area. One of the reports that Kelly mentioned was northern Greene County, where there was some tree home damage there earlier. We are dealing with one area under a tornado warning. That's northern Washington County. That tornado warning may be extended into northern Clark County. So far, we have not gotten any confirmed reports of damage or tornado. Remember, it's a low populated area. It is nighttime, but it is moving through small communities every now and then. This potential tornado will cross the Tombigbee heading into Clark County. And I'm going to ask my producer, that last instruction you gave me, to repeat that, please. All right, so we will continue our coverage on Channel 15, WPMI NBC. We're looking at this in 3 dimensions right now. And what it shows, the higher that red is, it shows you the taller the thunderstorm is. And that gives us a clue as to whether it's strengthening, whether it's weakening, and to how likely it is to produce a tornado. And those are areas, of course, that you don't want to see. You don't want to see tall thunderstorms. Bailey's Landing, Frankville, you are ahead of that area of rotation. For the brief moment, and actually there's the area there. I misplaced that there. But for the brief moment, it's not strengthening. This is good. We don't want it to strengthen. But if you are in Silver Cross in Washington County, if you are in Frankville, you are looking at the rotation of a severe thunderstorm that could produce a tornado as it's heading toward the east at 40 miles an hour. It is a thunderstorm that did produce some wind damage when it was moving through Greene County, Mississippi. Not tornado damage necessarily, but straight line wind damage. In 10 to 12 minutes, Tadlersville in about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, the community of Wynn and Solitpa as it eventually crosses the Tombigbee River, Highway 69 in Clark County, and then moves farther into Clark County. You will notice that tornado warning does cover northwestern Clark County. And that new tornado warning, what's the time of expiration on this one, Kelly?
The new tornado warning right now, we're not under a new one. We are still dealing with the previous tornado warning for Washington and Clark County until 7:30. So right now it looks like it's about continuing to move at about 40 miles per hour eastbound, but the National Weather Service still keeping the tornado warning in place for about 3 more minutes.
All right, and then coincidentally, we are ending our newscast here on UTV 44, but we are continuing our coverage on NBC 15. For now, I'm going to step out of the picture just briefly as we transition. This tornado warning until 7:30, but it's very likely a new one will be issued to replace this as that severe thunderstorm warning continues, severe thunderstorm continues moving toward the east.